Good morning and welcome to Fat Cow Farm. Now, the other day, would have been about 2 days ago now, we got absolutely flogged with midsummer rain. Now, what I wanted to do was then take this opportunity now to show you how our swales are working in the middle of summer. Now, what we have here is that we're at one of the very ends of our swales. You might be able to pick up, there's a fence behind me sort of running across. This swale is chock-a-block, and I mean chock-a-block. We've got water overflowing everywhere. But what I wanted to quickly show you was this, is that over the summer period, the way that we manage our swales, and you can see on the high side of the swale, so we've got water coming in through or off the ground, obviously rainfall as well, and we've banked them up. Now, all across this high side of the swale, I have left the grass long for summer. Now, what's that's actually doing for me is that that's causing a lot of shading for the soil. We're reducing the evaporation and we're allowing our little trees that we've planted along the way chance to start growing without having that direct sunlight. Now, you can see pretty much what I've got behind me. Now, this is the second time this has happened this summer. You can see our fence running along here. Certainly green on one side, sort of green on the other, but then turning to that off brown. So you can see how much water is absorbed both ways into the swale, not only just downhill. So what I want to do is show you on the other side what we've planted out, and well, I've got one little guy here actually. This is something that we planted in prior to summer. Now, we've had to water these guys in, but now that we're getting all this summer rain, you can see how much this little guy's taken off. And this is one of our primary trees. This is the lucerne tree. Now, this is a quick growing tree. So I would be thinking that towards the end of summer, you know, we're going to be looking, I don't know, what's that, around about 1.5 meters, something like that. And that'll take a good couple of years to start bushing out and then protecting this area completely. Now, the biggest issue that we have with water absorbing into the ground and losing this water is evaporation. So you can see what's happened is that there's a little micro ecosystem starting to evolve. Now I've got a lot of water reeds coming through, all water grasses along the banks, and that's all aiding in the evaporation process. Now come around about dusk when the sun goes down, this joint turns full on alive. We've got frogs and dragonflies and just everything going on. It's getting actually hard to sleep at night. So it's going a bit crazy, mate. So, but what I want to do is just take you to the very end and on this other side, and I'll show you what we've planted out there in the middle of the grasses, because it's this summer rain that you need to capture. You don't get the opportunities that often. The rain came down in around about 3 to 4 hours. So it was pretty full on and heavy rain. Like I said, it was about 80 mil. So what's happened is that that's been caught now and slowly seeking back into the soils and then running back downhill. So come with me, we'll go around the corner and I'll see you soon. Okay, so here we are. We're at the very end of the swale now. Now, as a lot of you would have seen on previous videos, is that swales are actually dug out level on contour. Now, we have our spillway for this particular swale, should it really start overflowing further down. And then that runs back into basically a causeway. But I want to show you is that the rain that we had, I've still got overflow coming from the end of this swale here. I mean, look at that. You know, it's just... Now you have to think and ask yourself this question, is that we're not damp anywhere else. And after all that rain would have hit the ground, It would have absorbed because it was middle, you know, we are middle of summer. But until that rain started saturating that soil, it wasn't taking 100% of that absorption. So as it's running off, the swale's design is to capture it and slowly then release. Now, with this little trickle that I've got coming through here, this is now running back through one of the cow paddocks. And you can see that it's still fairly green. Now, we're on the lowest side of the swale now, and the cows come through here and do all the things that cows do. And I am still amazed. Here we are in the middle of summer. We've had 2 downpours. We had one sort of very early summer, and now we're in the middle. This is our second. Now, last year, that was unheard of. So this was all dry pre that rain just the other day. And everything is just like, you can hear things growing and coming back to life. It is just amazing. So what we'll do, I want to take you a little bit further down and I'll show you what I'd sort of set up for that summer period, keeping the grasses long, and where we've planted bits and pieces along the way. So we'll move further up and I'll see you soon. All right, so here we are on the low side of the swale again. Now, what I wanted to do was just show you some of the different trees that we thought we would experiment with over the summer period. Now, what we'd done is that during winter we transferred a lot of deciduous trees. The idea being is that what we wanted to do was that over that winter period, the trees would then put all their leaf litter in the swales and then start decomposing and sending nutrients back through the soil. So not only have we got evergreens like wattles, pioneers, we've got the our lucerne trees, which is also a pioneer, they're evergreen. But I wanted to try some deciduous as well. Now, come very early spring, this place was barren, absolutely barren. Now, we couldn't produce enough mulch to put on top of our swales to protect the soils. Hence what the thought process was is that we would let a lot of those natural grasses come through, a lot of the weeds come through, and you can see things like, you know, we've got a lot of this just standard native grass. We've got St. George's weed there, lots and lots of water reeds coming through. So we've just let everything go. Now, what will end up happening is that come that mid-autumn sort of period, we'll come up here and slash and drop all this back onto the ground. Now, there's a couple of thoughts in that, is that letting the grasses grow over summer, yes, it protects the soil and everything else, but I needed to protect a lot of those young trees and plants that we're growing. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this here. So what we have here is I've put in some elms. Now, we've got a big elm tree up the back there, and these are just ones that had self-seeded. So I dug them out and put them along the top of the swale here. Now, I don't know how well this little guy would have gone if it was just not protected. So I'm giving this little guy the best opportunity that I can. Come winter, like I said, we'll slash all this down. This will mulch back into the ground and give this guy as much light as we can. Now, he'll drop his leaves, his deciduous, and then come that spring period again where it starts warming up, you know, hopefully he would have set himself up now. It would have been 1 year for winter, and you know, he'll start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think that you can certainly see the benefits of what swales actually do. You can see behind me here, we are certainly green running through this area. We have a lot of water, subsoil water running through, and a lot of the cows, they spend a lot of time down here because it is that green grass in the middle of summer. So what I want to do, we're just doing another couple of little experiments with some flowers, mainly for the bees coming through during that period, and that's what a lot of the lucerne trees are for. to bring those bees and everything back into this area. So we'll go further up and I'll catch you then. I'll see you soon. All right, so here we are coming back towards the homestead of this, for this particular swale. Now, this is the sort of area that we're using for experiments because it's close. Now, again, what you can see here behind all this grass, I've got another lucerne tree there, and that one's doing very, very well. We've got this little guy here, and then this died off pretty much 3 or 4 months ago. But look, we've got new shoots starting to come through. So if this is what this one does, this would be perfect. We can have these all set up. It's got this purple flower, and these are all seed pods. So as they drop, that will start running through over the top of the swale. We've been having a look at some succulents, and again, these guys are doing all right too. This was an experiment for the middle of summer. That was just a cutting, so that's doing really, really well. This one here is the lamb's ear or tongue or something like that, lamb's ear. Now, yeah, I mean, that was just a cutting. I don't know, there's some new shoots coming, but again, it's sort of one of those sort of scenarios. The daisies are doing really well. So what we're finding is that we're experimenting with different plants to sort of work out how things are going to be managed over these swales. And even when you see behind me, you know, we've got so much whoa, there's a wiggly worm. All the watercress sitting in our swales now, that's pretty much just grown bang instantly, and that dies off over winter, just breaks down up into the subsoil of the swale itself, and that just gives nutrients back into the soil. Got to move. I'm just quietly bogging my pants. And then again, we're doing more experiments on lucerne. This lamb's ear is doing a little bit better. Just got some common daisies. We've got some oaks that have taken off. So it's a bit of a one-on-one sort of experiment, working with what you've got versus what you don't have. And I tell you what, we plan for a dry summer. Now, this little bit of extra rain that we've got, or lots of extra rain, will set us up now, going all the way back through into autumn. So it's fantastic. So all about swales, and especially an update now in the middle of summer for our summer swale. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. And I'll sort that snake out. I'll see you then. See you later. Bye.